Welcome back to They Did What, your source for the internet's craziest, most entertaining stories, where I go over them, analyze them, and most certainly make fun of them. Today I'll be covering part 33 of the longest running story on this channel, which is titled, A Wife Thought Her Affair Was Going Unnoticed, Husband Was Playing the Long Game Preparing for War. And guys, like I said, wow, we're going to maybe hit 50 this year. I don't need to do a recap because you all know what's going on with our guy here. Well, here's a continuation of his life. And the reason I'm doing this whole series is because this guy, I really liked him. He was really cool, and it's amazing seeing his journey over coming up on 2 years now. In our last episode, obviously, it was at a year after the divorce, met with Emily, all that stuff with the pastor and the drama and all that, and he's moving on. Well, here a guy has an update here. He's now got another chick. Remember the one he was talking about before? Well, there's some more information there, and our guy's doing well moving forward. I'm going to keep doing these until he's done. But before I get into it, real quick, guys, if you haven't done so already, come check out our men's communities over on Locals or Patreon. You can come on over there and check it out, join for free as a free member, and you can see what's going on, what we're doing over there, or to get the really good stuff, a paid supporter, in which you'll get all my content from all three channels commercial-free, and on there 48 hours before they hit YouTube, as well as other exclusive videos. I'll be doing multiple during the month that you can't get here on YouTube because some of those things I can't do over here. And more importantly, a censorship-free environment, which I'm trying to build over there, just in case, because you never know how they are over here on YT, and next thing you know, I'm demonetized or kicked off. So, like I said, come on, check it out, guys. It's totally free as a member, or you can be a paid supporter, and come join us. Okay, getting into the story. He says here, well, a lot of you asked if I still plan on updating. That's a good question. Now that this is all wrapped up, he's officially divorced. The short answer is yes. The long answer is I plan to keep blogging here until Reddit tells me not to. I'm not shitting up on any of the major moderated subreddits, so I don't see why anybody would care if I do. I might not update as frequently as I did before because I'm healing and I think Emily is done with me, or at least we're done with each other. Don't hold your breath, amigo. Anything can happen with Emily. You know, remember, she's gone past that period where she's not allowed to contact him. Otherwise, he would get that money in escrow. Well, that agreement's done. So I would not rule out an Emily encounter. Well, for the update, or the TLDR, is that I've been seeing Raisin regularly. Raisin's a nickname for that chick from Singapore that he's been seeing a couple times. Our man here really likes Eastern chicks, and who can blame him? We frequently have dinner or lunch near her law firm. I'm not counting those as dates because we go halvesies. Smack! Did you just say halvesies, dude? You only get one smack because I like you. Otherwise, you'd be getting 10 smacks for saying halvesies. We've been on 3 additional dates since the meeting with Emily, and we're officially a couple now. Smack! A little too soon, bro. She sounds cool and all, but slow down a little bit. But he's having fun. By this, I mean that I've stopped going out on any dates from the apps on the dating apps or going to video arcade singles nights. She has no time to go out with anybody else, so it's no issue for her. Yes, we did say the words that we're exclusive. We said it out loud. No contact was written in blood, but that may be a future thing because she is a lawyer. I was going to make a lawyer joke. She's a lawyer after all. Ex-mother-in-law and I have a regular Wednesday lunch date. So he's going to continue on seeing his former mother-in-law. I understand why he does it and why he shouldn't do that, you know? But he was close to her and she was good to him. I just don't want this to give his ex false hope. The question I get regularly is, why are you still hanging on to the mother-in-law? Fair question. Well, he explains it. I get it. I'm not sure that a lot of you who have good relationships with your mother-in-law and that you'd have a hard time ending it, but you'd bite the bullet and sever ties. So to make you understand, I have to turn back the clock a bit to a difficult time in my life. It's a toss-up for the worst day of my life, actually. The day my mom died, or the day I knew that my relationship with Emily was over. My mom and I were very close. The most common mother-child relationship is probably, I love her, or she did the best she could under the circumstances. My mom and I were close. We were good friends. I grew up into an adult, and we related to each other as adults, but we're friends because we liked most of the same things. So our man here was a mama's boy. Not surprised. But he had an awesome mom. That's cool. A lot of people don't have awesome moms. I'm more in common with her than my dad, and we've been having these long conversations about everything. She'd even asked me advice about dealing with my dad because she wanted to know things from a guy's perspective. This was after I was 18, by the way, so it was not too weird. Then one day she was suddenly gone. I might have commented earlier about it, but in the last conversation we had, it was an argument about something stupid. Whenever we did that, we would usually cool off and then come back together and both confess what we did. And honestly, I can count on one hand the number of times that happened. She was not just a mom to me, she was also a good friend. When she was suddenly gone and became a was rather than is, I was frankly in shock. That sucks, because our guy here is relatively young. And that's too bad that the last time they spoke was in anger or a fight, and then she died. The dad you know from my post is Dad 2.0, which is the result of family and grief therapy. My dad loved my mom greatly, and when she was suddenly gone, he basically switched off and became an emotionless zombie. That happens to a lot of people. All I had at the time was Emily. Emily was great at the time. It wasn't all bad. She really paid attention to me and was patient and kind, but she was involved in her business and had to go to work. Enter the mother-in-law. Emily was very involved with her business. Was that when John was involved? Enter the mother-in-law. She moved in with us and basically cooked, cleaned, and made sure I got up, ate, and went to work. She and Emily would text me during the day, and she'd make meals that Emily would take to me at work, and she basically stepped up to be the only parent in my life. Service is above and beyond the call of duty. Well, that's very nice of the now ex-mother-in-law. She sounds like a very nice lady, you know? Our guy is definitely a mama's boy. After about 6 months of this, father-in-law came to the house and pointed at her and said, "Hey, I think I remember someone who looks like you. Aren't we married or something?" And by that time, I got into a place where I was coping, and Dad and I were finally getting family counseling and building an actual relationship beyond saying, "You good? Yeah, I'm good." Albeit a relationship centered on a dead person that we both loved. Yeah, after 6 months, it's time for mother-in-law to go back home, and it's time for you to heal, bro. But I'm sorry about your mom. So mother-in-law moved out, but she still called me and we would talk. It wasn't like mom, of course, because mother-in-law was not much of a reader. She's a big fan of Dick Francis and Sue Grafton. Me, not so much. I don't know who the hell they are. I'm sure somebody watching this will know and say, "You know who they are?" Well, no, I don't. Anyway, she's the closest thing to a mom I have, and I don't want to give that up. I'm not saying never, but not right now. Our Wednesday evening meetings have been pretty much talking about everything except Emily. I didn't even tell her about Emily. I didn't even tell her about Emily pretty much throwing her and father-in-law under the bus as part of her reasons why she cheated on me. Remember that? She was blaming the parents. See? Women and accountability. I figured since I didn't completely trust in that explanation, I wouldn't burden her with it. I figured Emily will say something to her if she's serious about the reason why. Mother-in-law did wonder aloud if she was somewhat responsible for Emily's behavior, and told her that Emily is an adult with autonomy and the ability to make her free choices. Exactly. So he's been meeting with mother-in-law this whole time, once a week or something like that. It's kind of amazing that she was able to keep her mouth shut about Emily, because I'd warned you guys, remember a year ago, like, that's nice, they have a good relationship, but she could be trying to weasel her way to get him to forgive Emily. Apparently not. The only other notable thing to you guys is that she asked if I was seeing anybody. That kind of took me by surprise, and think it took too long to answer because she sort of looked at me with her eyebrows raised like, "Oh, really?" Spill the tea. She told me that Emily told her about Shreya and said that she saw the Diwali picture. I told her a little bit about Raisin, nothing specific, but she did laugh and say that I seemed to be dating women who look way different from Emily, and I said guilty as charged. Think about it. Emily is a blonde, white American, and he's dating Shreya, the Indian babe, and now he's dating the quote-unquote Raisin, the Singapore babe. Well, as far as Raisin goes, she made me a cultural chicken rice. That sounds simple, but actually it's witchcraft. She came at me with a chicken breast that was as tender and juicy as a perfectly cooked ribeye steak. I am from America, where our chicken breasts are dry and stringy unless they're from Chick-fil-A, and now they're tender but covered in fried buttery crap. This was an unadorned chicken breast with no crispy shell, no fried skin, nothing but tender, moist chicken steak. Sounds awesome. And now I want to go to Chick-fil-A. The rice was delicious too. It was kind of greasy, but she said I didn't want to know about it, so I didn't ask. I just ate. And it was good. There were 3 different dipping sauces for the chicken, all of which were incredible. All the while May May, the elderly cat, was supervising like a retired health inspector. Yeah, he's a cat person, a cat brother, so he should be with a cat girl too. The next day, we went hiking in a state park. The kind with a wilderness boundary sign and everything. The thing I learned about Raisin is that Singapore is a gigantic city that's open for 24 hours, but the sun basically is only visible within the slits between the very tall buildings. No big sky in Singapore. I swim every day and I'm in good shape now. She's lapping me on the inclines and standing at the top of the hills, asking me if I'm okay while I'm wheezing and stumbling. This woman is 5'5", 110 pounds, according to the novelty fortune-telling scale at the gas station we stopped at. And despite her timeliness, she's a total jock when it comes to cardiovascular stuff. I said, let's meet in the swimming pool for a rematch, and she took me up on that offer, so that I had to look forward to. Well, so far so good. She seems like a cool chick. She's a cat chick like him. He's a cat brother. She's in darn good shape. She's pretty. She can cook. She likes to do stuff like hikes and stuff like that. Okay, so far so good. I haven't heard anything about them being in the sack together, but I'm going to assume at this point they're having a good time. So, okay, our man deserves to have fun. Just don't rush into things any further than you already have. Says here, she's not a gym rat like me, she's a runner. I'm like, why? Are there a lot of bees in your neighborhood? She thought that was funny. The day after that, on the 20th, we went to an MLB pro baseball game. Her law firm had box seats that the bigwigs weren't using that particular weekend. So we got the opportunity to pay $11 for a hot dog and another $11 for a good beer. I decided ahead of time, a steak bourbon in the ballpark is in my tummy. Well, that's cool. Box seats MLB game. That night I spent the night at her place for the first time, and we were pretty much sold on the idea of being exclusive after that. I'm not going to use the L word lightly, but she's definitely that cat's pajamas in my book. As my great-grandpa used to say back in the day, smack! I don't even want to hear the L word. You just started. But we all know our guy here is a relationship guy. He wants to have kids and all that, and I don't blame him. Take your time, dude. And remember, she's a lawyer. Keep your eyes open. So that's pretty much my glorious bachelor life right now. I do like Raisin. She makes my life sparkle. Did you just say sparkle? The cultural language and other differences are not alienating. They're like this extra spice on top of an already delicious dish. I keep making food analogies because Raisin is a good cook. I think that's a cultural pride thing, like a Chinese cultural thing. It was weird because she would assert I'm a good cook at the beginning of me seeing her like a brag while I'm just shrugging my shoulders and saying I'm a 31-year-old man. I know how to feed myself or I'd be dead by now. She did pump me for my, whatever you want to call it, recipe, Shreya's recipe, which I'm withholding because I like teasing her. Tomorrow she's coming over to the house and I'm going to cook for her and just show her that I know how to take care of myself. Ha! I'm giving the house a good deep clean with Beans, the cat, supervising, of course. Well, this has been my life in a nutshell for the past month or so. Other than that, and work, it's blah, blah, blah. Therapy, blah, blah, blah. Emily's keeping her distance. Thank God, knock on wood. Well, that'd be great if Emily left him the hell alone. She can go join her church community. Maybe she'll get her shit together. But I'm not ruling out that Emily ain't coming back in the picture at some point. And I'm also not ruling out that Shreya may not come back one day. Thank you for your interest in my life. It's flattering in a real way, having all y'all internet strangers saying, are you still doing an update? Tell me what's going on. Like I'm an actual interesting person and not dull as fuck. You are interesting, dude. Your story is interesting. Yeah, he also says, I forgot that update about Lisa and John. No big news here. They signed the divorce agreement. They didn't even have to be in the same room. No big confrontation, no tearful goodbyes, just signatures. The reason Emily and I were in the same room is because of her reading her confessions, or else we'd have signed the papers separately. Lisa and John still appeared in a Zoom meeting before the judge, where he basically asked them to pinky swear they were serious, and both signed the papers, fully knowing what was going on, and how their property and kids would be separated. Well, it's about time that happened. Emily and I don't have to do any Zoom meetings with the judge. I'm told it depends on the nature of the divorce. Your attorneys and the judge, so I guess we lucked out on all three. Well, there you go, guys. He's free. He's doing what he should be doing, enjoying his life. But I've been doing this long enough. I've lived long enough to know this guy, our guy here, is a relationship guy. So it is only a matter of time. before he starts really thinking the bigger picture with this raisin girl that he's with. But right now, have a good time. He's earned a darn good time. He had a lot of fun with Shreya, but she really kept him going during that crazy year. Now he can have fun with Raisin. And we're going to see where this goes. But I predict in a year, he's going to be, if things go well with her, it's June. It's late June. I'm predicting in a year, our guy's going to be thinking about engagement. I swear to God, it's going to be because he wants kids. He wants a family, all that. I understand, but just take his time. So we shall see. We'll come back in a year and see if I'm right. All right, guys, that's it for today. Be sure to comment down below. Let me know what you think about this. Be sure to like the video, share with your friends, and subscribe. And I'll catch you next time.